Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Welcome to Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast.
Hey, it's JD back for another week of digging through the catalog of seminal indie rock band Pavement, looking for any nuggets, bullion, doubloons that I can find inside the tracks, inside the cracks, as I frack through the crust of this delicious, delicious music. I'm on the road again. Right now I'm sitting in a hotel room in Vancouver, BC. Although you can hear there's a sound difference, so I have purchased the component required to connect my portable studio to my laptop, and I am no longer shouting into the keyboard of said laptop. So there's that. Heard from a bunch of you in the last few days, and I want to thank you for reaching out. It's always good to hear from you. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey. As I mentioned in the last episode, I wheeled into Winnipeg, sold my car, unplanned, and flew to British Columbia, which is a couple provinces over in our great country, Canada. Spent Thanksgiving with my sister, though. That was great. Did a lot of walking around, some thrift shopping. There's some really great thrift shops here. And found a couple gems. So, there's that. This week, we are listening to Lions, parenthetical Linden, end parenthetical. And I found a really cool version online where they played Lions, parenthetical Linden, end parenthetical, in Vancouver, BC in 2010. So in honor of my being here today, why don't we give that a spin before we get into the studio version? This is Lions, parenthetical Linden, live from Vancouver, British Columbia on Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast.
Home, but the red birds, green and blue, chilies in
was Lions. Wow, that's an abrupt end. Just sort of fucking chops off there at the end. I should have done a soft fade. But alas, my time is limited here in Vancouver, British Columbia. My plane takes off in a couple hours and I got to get out of here. In fact, while I was dumping that track in, there was a knock upon my door, a soft rap. And it was the housekeeping unit, a member of the housekeeping unit coming in to keep my house, to turn over my bed and restore my room to respectability after a night of debauchery downtown Vancouver, British Columbia. I ordered Greek food and I watched baseball. God, I'm an animal. Just a fucking animal. So what'd you think? It's a pretty faithful interpretation of the studio version. So there's not a lot, to really dissect. Obviously, it's Westy on drums in 2010. And the studio version, the drums really do stand out, I find. So I think that is, rather stark. Because the mix of the studio version, you really do hear his drums, and it really is a showcase. I think, okay, so let me back up here. First of all, Lions, parenthetical Linden, and parenthetical is a tour de force. It's under 2 minutes. It's all meat. There's no fat on the bone at all. And this is another song, reminding us where this band is from. And as I mentioned with this EP, I think this EP really is the beginning and the end of versions of Pavement. It's the beginning of a new version and the end of an old version. And this is the end of the Stockton days. They're not going to record in Stockton again after this. And as such, this EP really is an ode to Stockton and where they're from. Every building's the same height. Roads are the straight lines. You talk about the team's colors. Driving through town, you can imagine seeing a high school football game. And there's a hometown hero. And there's a chance of that hometown hero. That's the most heroic thing that he does in his life is, cross the goal line on 4th and 2. And that's rather bleak and depressing, but I feel as though the picture that is being painted of this environment, of this cultural void, is bleak and depressing, and I'm somebody who lives a pretty bleak and depressing life. So I think I come at it from a good place. Anyway, you got lyrically, that's, sort of the theme going through the song. And it's just a ripper as far as guitars go. The guitar work is great. But I really want you to listen to it again and focus on the drums. Focus on those fills. They're prototypical Gary. There's a tribalness to them, a bassness to them. And bass, B-A-S-E, a bassness to them that Gary really brought to the band, this intangible. And I love Steve West, and I think that I don't think Crooked Rain happens without him. We'll get into that as we talk about, the future of the band. But there's something really magical about what Gary brought to the equation. And I'm not sure whether, as an engineer, he mic'd himself up and really brought himself into the mix. My understanding is always that Malk and Spiral did the mixing, so there's that. But it's all there. This song is all there. This is Pavement, and it's a great version of our band. And I think as we cross the halfway mark of Watery Domestic, it's getting increasingly more obvious what a powerhouse of an EP this is, and how wonderful a mile marker it is on their career at that point. So there's that. Lastly, I think it's important to take a look at the title. Lions, to me, is pretty obviously one of the teams that is mentioned. There's the team that's 29 miles away that wears crimson and blue, and then there's the yellow and blue team. One of them is the Lions. I'm guessing the yellow and blue. Now with Linden, there's a couple interesting possibilities. I don't think either are true. It is a parenthetical after all, but I will tell you them anyway. One is Lindenwood. The Lindenwood Lions are a NCAA football team. They play in a Division II out of Missouri. So I'm doubtful that that's what it's to do with, although the band had been on the road at this point. Not a lot in the Midwest, but they had been on the road. So who knows? The other, more likely possibility is linden is a type of tree. There is the American linden, which is a type of tree native to eastern North America. So who knows? Maybe there's some sort of weird parallel between, a town and a wooded area with trees all growing in straight lines in a row, neat and tidy. I don't know. It also could just be something that Malk thought was cool and wanted to fuck with us a little bit title-wise. So there's that. Let's give the song a listen. One more spin. Lions, parenthetical Linden, and parenthetical on Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast.
Every building same height, every street a straight line, team colors yellow and blue, chilling single file, perfect smiles unaffected, and you won't forget our colors blue. You won't forget it.
Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast, is a weekly affair. I'm social. Check me out at Meeting Malcolmus. And be a dear. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.